to the computer.
Yay!
Right. Well, welcome you guys to Thursday Night Shift. Get all my ducks in a row here. Okay, there we go. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. We did not discuss a question, you guys. Summer is like has us all over the place, I feel like, and so we almost aren't even communicating as much as we normally do. But if you guys have a question you would like us to answer, normally it's a quick one, right? Like, or if you ladies have something you want to throw out there, Melissa might have one.
Oh, I mean, I can always come up with one. I would say if you had your favorite business word, the favorite word, like your go-to, okay, we'll say word or phrase that you go to with regards to your business, what would it be?
Call on someone to go first.
Come on, Jody, with your
it's not one that I normally would actually say, but it's on my mind. I actually shared it today in a post that I did. It's something new that I heard, and I think that it's something to definitely could be implemented in your business. And it was from a fellow influencer on Instagram, and she said, inch by inch, life is a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. And I thought about that, and I've been using that as I've been doing things here at the new home, and I've just like thinking the same thing with your business, right? If you or a new consultant joins and you look at your comp plan and your goals, or if you look at even in a next 2 weeks from now, maybe when we have the new incentive trip goals, and you look at that and you think, oh my gosh, to be a superstar director, I need X amount of GWV, TWV, all these things, or to get this incentive trip for my family or for myself, I need all of these points. But if you look at it inch by inch and you break it down piece by piece, you're going to be able to get a handle on that and grasp that so much better. So inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. And I just really love that. So
I like that a lot.
I like that a lot.
I do. I think I'm going to
Thank you, Kels.
Post-it note. So mine seems so boring after such a cute introduction like that. Mine is betterment. And that was my word I chose for 2021. I don't even know if it's a real word or if it's a Jody made up word, but I wanted to be better in so many areas of my life, from personal to business, that's kind of been my mantra and my word for the year. I want to be better at personal growth, and I want to be a better leader, wife, mom, sister, friend, all of the things. So it encompasses every aspect of my life. So my word is betterment.
Love it.
I don't think I have a word, but
have a phrase, have a thought,
I don't know if it's a phrase. It's going to be a thought, and I'm going to do my best. Okay.
All right.
I can remember, oh God, I hope I get it right. 100 years ago when I first signed up, and I saw a quote and it says, shoot for the stars. Basically, you'll still shoot for the moon, you'll still land among the stars.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. See, I knew, I got panicked. Okay. So I tend to look at the yard, and then I get overwhelmed and I think I've really shifted my way of thinking lately, probably the past 6 months-ish. Like, I used to work out because I wanted to lose weight. Well, it's so much more to me now. It's like, I work out because I want to feel better. I want to eat better because I want to feel better. If I lose weight, great. But really, I just want to feel better. So I'm going to work my business to the best that I can. And hopefully something wonderful comes out of that. It may not be as big as I wanted it to, but hopefully inch by inch. I guess it just lines up with both Jody's and Callie's. And the other thing I will say is, I like a quote that says, be better, not bitter. That's it.
I like it. Great job. Thanks, JP.
To me?
Hey, Jilly. Yeah.
I would say, and it just popped into my head because I feel like we give up too easily when things get hard. So I would say tenacity. You have to push, and you have to press buttons, and you have to YouTube stuff, and you have to figure things out, and you can't give up so easily. Like, so many people are like, oh, how do you do this? Well, no one's going to help me, and no one's going to give me the exact direction. So I can't do it. I can't get parties. I can't do Instagram. I can't. When in all actuality, you don't push hard enough, right? I learned a lot of everything that I've done and felt that same way, but you have to push through it, and you have to ask questions, and you have to ask people and press buttons and try things and mess up and do all the things without just throwing your hands up and saying, I can't do this. They're better than me. I'll never be like her. I don't have the office. I don't have this. I don't have that. Like little by little and baby steps, you just push through. And, you know, cliche is stay consistent. We all say that, but I think you have to realize that you're going to go through ups, downs, swerves. Like you've seen that chart, like success isn't a straight line. It's a big old squiggly line. And those squiggly lines, every curve is when you're tenacious and you push through and you realize you're going to have bad days and you're going to have adversity and life is going to hit. And you're not only learning to, a lot of us, I say it all the time, join for the discount. And we forget that we actually have to learn how to run a business, and we weren't born business owners. We have to learn everything. So realize you're going to hit those bumps, hiccups, and sometimes some really deep valleys. And you just have to get up every day. And even if some days it'll be baby steps and some days it'll be huge leaps, and you just have to push and you have to be tenacious so that you can get through every single day.
Jen? Heather?
Mine is probably, gosh, pretty similar to what everybody said, honestly, but I would probably add, it's up to you, right? Like it's up to you how far you want to go in this business and no one else. In this world, everybody has good days, they have bad days, they have crap that's dealt to them, they have great successes, highs and lows. And I think you are the only person that can either stay stuck or get out of it. It's up to you and no one else. And it's what you choose to do with what you've been dealt with and how you work your business and what you choose to do your time with. And so I would say, just stay focused, figure out what you need to do, become a better you, figure out how you can be who you need to be in your business and in your life. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Thanks. Okay, did Jen make it on? We don't even know, right?
She was,
sure.
but I don't know that she's still, she looked like she was outside running something.
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh,
Here I am.
there she
Can you
is.
There
hear
she
me?
is.
There she
Yay.
is.
Oh my gosh. This is
Nope. And there she goes. She's in, she's out. I swear, Maine. All right. Thanks, Audette.
We'll come back to you.
All right. So I would say with regards to my business, my word would be consistency. And I try to strive for it. I preach it. I try to strive for it. I'm very consistent at being distracted and procrastinating, but still with my business, consistency is what I always say. It's, yeah. But last night I did a training call for another team and I made up my own quote and I'm so excited about it. I'm going to share it with you. So we were talking last night about our teams and how you can't force people to work. You can't force your teams. You know, it's easy for us to get discouraged because we want things to happen, but we also need our teams to want them to happen too. And so my quote, and I even Googled it to make sure nobody said it before, is you can't make people work, but you can show them why they want to. And I think that that is probably the top way that I like to run my business is by leading by example and showing why I love doing Scentsy so much. Why do I love it here so much? And we're going to talk about these things tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of these why are we here's and have we ever wanted to leave and quit and throw in the towel and but those are the things that build us and those are the things that help us grow successful businesses. We have hard days, we've got great days, and so long as we have people to lean on, we can get through it. If you try to navigate this business completely by yourself, I'm going to tell you it's going to be kind of lonely. It's going to be kind of lonely because we like to do these things together. And so just like we love seeing regular faces on shift, Ross is raising the roof. We like to see each other's faces on shift. Like this has become what we do on Thursday nights, right? And poor Kathy and a few others are going to hear it for a second time because they heard it the beginning of the week, but that's okay because every time we present things, even if it's the same topic, you just never know what you're going to get, right? So anyway, I will say it one more time because I'm just so proud You can't make people work, but you can show them why they want to. And that's a really good motto to live by. So, okay. Kels?
Yeah, I was to see if Jen wanted to try again. It looks like she was
Jen?
back running around out there in the brush in Maine. But if you don't, you're good. I understand. Okay, so tonight we kind of randomly did something earlier this week, and it went well. And all right, tonight we're going to do that here as well. So some people may have heard this before, some people may not have, but if you haven't, then even better. And like Melissa said, every time we do things, it always ends up different anyways, because different thoughts, different things going on in life, all that fun jazz. So I have it's called the Money Method. I took a course years and years and years ago from a gal in Utah, and her last name was Money, and she came up with this money creed. And I found a way to obviously turn it into my business, because everything I do in life, that's kind of how I look at it, as a way to, how could this have an impact on my team, myself, my business, all those things. So we are going to give you I want to call it an algorithm, but I know it's not an acronym. I was looking at JP for the hit there, an acronym. We are going tonight talk about the acronym of money. So if you want to make money in your business, here are some of the things to help you get there. So if you want to write down money, kind of like that, if you're going to want to follow along, and we're kind of just going to go through each one. And then if the others have something you want to add to it, then they can chime in. So M stands for mind your own business. Now, if you want to drop in the chat why you might think minding your own business or how that would apply to your business, that would be awesome. But minding your own business, I think, is so very important, and it ties into comparison is the thief of joy, right? If we are worried about what everyone else is doing, we're going to compare ourselves, we're going to compare our business, and we are going to, a lot of times that stills our joy, right? On top of that, it also has us focusing on things that aren't serving us in that aspect. So if I'm being a compliance police, I'm not minding my own business, and I'm out policing all these other consultants, how is that serving me in my business? Yes, I know there's things that can hurt our businesses and things like that, but at the end of the day, your time is valuable when you focus on your own business and you mind your own business. Does anybody want to add anything to mind your own business? No, we're good. Okay. Does anybody, let's see, was there anything added in the chat? Be someone they aren't. Yes, thank you. That was another point of this one. So minding your own business, it ties into that, that authenticity. Well, nope, that's the next one. Okay, yes, that's great. Yes, okay. Okay, we're just gonna scan through those. Don't compare yourself, your beginning to someone else's end. Yes, I love that. Perfect. Okay, so O stands for own your truth. And this is where authenticity comes into, right? And I love that it's one of our core values. I was getting ahead of myself. So owning your own truth. Also, JP, yeah, it can be like staying in your own lane. I love that. So own your truth. Own what is important to you. Own your values, own who you are, be authentically you in your business. Melissa, you had some really great thoughts to add on to this one that I was going to start saying, but I should let you do that because they were really great from your mouth.
Well, thank you. You got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Every time I mute and come back, my microphone decides if it wants to work or not. So, okay. So owning your truth, owning who you are, authenticity. So, the way that I look at this is, first of all, we all sell the same products, right? So we all have a catalog with the exact same warmers in it. So our customers technically could get the warmer from any of us on this screen. But why do they come to you? They come to you because that's who they want to do business with, if you make them feel like they should do business with you. But part of, and gosh, and every time I talk about this, I reference Jill and branding and being uniquely you, because we all sell the same warmers, we all sell the same fragrances. But if we don't create a unique experience for our customers, they can go anywhere and get the same product. So I always say, I'm thankful for Scentsy and authenticity being one of its core values, because I'm really thankful that I don't have to fit into a cookie cutter to run my business. I'm really happy that I don't have to look a certain way or dress a certain way or perform a script a certain way in order to be successful here. I always refer to the example of when, how many of you remember World Tour a couple years ago when and it might have even been called Spring Sprint back then, but when it was in the round, do you guys remember that? And the stage was in the middle and people sat all the way around. So there was no way that at any given point, your butt wasn't going to be facing a whole section of people. And I remember standing up there and thinking, and even saying, I apologize to the room, but one section of you at all times is going to be staring at my butt. And the best part of it is if I had to be up there with people staring at me in a very uncomfortable situation, because I'm going to tell you, presenting in front of people is one thing. Presenting in the middle of people, because you can't see what people are doing behind you, is a totally different thing. So if I had to give or speak at World Tour or Spring Sprint in that environment, which is nerve-wracking, in a skirt and high heels, I would have failed so miserably, not because I didn't know my content, but because I'd be worried what people were thinking of me. Because I looked so uncomfortable, and I would have looked so uncomfortable that I know the room would have felt it. And the only way for me to authentically be me is to be me. That's how I'm going to give the best of myself to my customers, to my team, to my friends, to my family. And that's why authenticity is so important. We need to own our differences. We don't want to be the same. I am so sorry about that screaming kid. I don't know who he belongs to, but he is terrible and needs to go to bed, or the circus, one of the two. So, do you hear this? You would think we abuse him. He wouldn't eat his taco, so he doesn't get an ice cream. Like, seriously, we're running okay.
He's passionate. I feel his pain.
Oh, yeah. So anyhow, somebody else can take the reins.
Basically, be authentically you, right? Own who you are, own your truth, stand up for what you believe in. And as you do that, your vibe attracts your tribe, and you will find people that are on a similar path as you by being authentically you. Yes, obviously there's other people that will eventually join your team and different things that aren't like you, but you will find that community that comes to you by being who you are. And that ties into all aspects of your business. It ties into social media in your business. It ties into when you do parties or lives or whatever. Those that are attracted to you and your personality, they're the ones that are going to show up. They're the ones that are going to be there. And you're going to feel better as you claim who you are and moving forward and finding success in that. So anybody else want to add something there? Jody, JP, Jill, Jen, Heather? Okay. The next one is N, and it stands for now is where your power is. And we can think about all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We could go back in time and say, well, I wish I would have done that. Or if I had joined and I had done X, Y, and Z, or whatever. If we can focus on all the other things, we can also focus on, the future and be thinking, this isn't going to work because I've got X, Y, and Z. But really all you have control over and all you can really focus on is the now and doing what you can in the moment and not making excuses for that. JP, are you have something out there?
Well, I was just going to share my experience that I had, if that's okay. Totally random, but when we randomly shared this the other day, I had a conversation with my daughter. She calls me every day, and she usually gives me a rundown. This is what I'm going to do today. And it's like this bullet point list. She's just organized like that. Well, halfway through the day, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I had all this to do, and I didn't get any of it done. Not a one thing on there." And I said, "Well, tell me what else is on your list." She said, "Well, I wanted to go to the gym and there was something else." I said, "Then get up and go to the gym." She said, "Oh, I don't really want to." And I said, "Well, usually that's when I know I should go more than anything. Because once I move my body, I feel better." And she said, "Fine, okay, I will." I said, "Because guess what? You can look at all the things that you didn't do, or you can focus on what you have left in the day, how many hours you have left in the day, and what you can still get done with the time in your day on your list. And so she went to the gym. She called me later. She said, Mom, I'm feeling myself. That was the best advice ever. I love it. I feel so much. I'm so glad I did. So my point was, I just loved that. Like, I felt like I had a good mom moment, because I was like, quit looking at all the things that either went wrong or didn't pan out or you didn't get to. Focus on now. What can you do right now still on that list with the hours left in your day? Maybe it's follow up on your Amy. Maybe it's whatever. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, whether it's personal or business, focus on what you can still get done in the day, because Heather said it a million times. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. Sometimes you may only get 30 minutes to actually get one thing accomplished, but I encourage you to do that.
Jojo, you had something to add, didn't you?
I just don't know if I know how to tie it in together. And I'm a little bit thrown off, but it goes back to, like what you were saying about, I don't know exactly what you said, but what you have now in front of you, right? So I shared this story the other day with a couple of leaders that we were working with, and it has to go back with when I joined, and when I joined, who I joined under, and I'm just going to say it how it is. So Jenna Audette and I joined similarly at right around the same time, two completely different experiences with uplines. And this is another part where I'm grateful that social media wasn't a thing, because I could have easily seen how Jenna Audette was growing and growing and growing, and I'm just clawing my way through, right? Because she had amazing sponsors. You might know them, Becca and Kelly, that were teaching her all of these things. And myself and my sponsor, we didn't have that. We kind of had to figure things out on our own. But I believe that everything happens for a reason. And had I joined underneath somebody else, my story and where I am today may be very different than what it is. So sometimes it's easy for us to look at where someone else is, whether they had an amazing upline to lead them forward, or whatever it is, however you want to compare yourself. You have to stop that. You have to remember that you are where you were supposed to be, because this is your story. This is your journey. This is your timeline. And somebody said earlier about somebody's end is not your beginning, or however that went. So just remember that, it's very easy, especially with social media, to look at somebody or another situation and be like, well, that should have been me, or I should have done this, or if somebody had helped me in this way, I'd be further along. Sure, that might be true, but it also might not be true. And because we don't have crystal balls and magic wands, and we can't go backwards in time and change things, you don't really know that. So don't let those types of thoughts get stuck in your head and let it beat you. I've seen so many good consultants leave for wrong reasons. And they leave because they say, well, they don't get along with their sponsor, or their sponsor isn't good enough, or they don't help. Well, that doesn't really hurt them, boo. It hurts you. And you need to remember that if you want something from this business, no matter what it is, you need to never compare yourself and always show up and do your best, not somebody else's. I hope that kind of tied in a little.
No, 1000% did. 1000%. Love that. And all great stories to go with it. Okay. E, every thought matters. So, your thoughts are so important. I don't think you could think that enough. So, what you think about, you bring about. I don't know if you've heard that quote before, but that's a good one. My brain for some reason is just not firing all of a sudden, but yes, every thought matters. And so, some things that I shared the other day that was really shocking with the ladies is, years ago, I mean, this was so long ago, and some of you may remember this, but my mom and I had come across a study about the power of words on your body, and like physical evidence of the power of words. And so there's actually, you can Google it. There's an experiment called, if you could just put the power of words on water, it'll come up. And there's a YouTube video that you have to read it. Jody didn't read it the other day, but you have to read it at first. But basically it shows how they took written words and they put them into water, and the effect that those words had on the molecules in the water. And so if you think about it also, we are majoritarily made up of water, right? And so if we're saying negative things, we're creating a negative space within our bodies, within our minds, within everything that we do. Same thing with plants. There's experience out there. If you talk positively to a plant and you talk negatively to a plant, what are they made up of mostly? Water, right? So if you look up this study, it's actually really cool because it will show the negative words, and those negative words look like the water is really musty and they look really like not really doesn't really form anything. It's just kind of gross. But if you look at the positive words under that microscope, it's these beautiful like snowflakes and these beautiful molecule reactions of the positivity. And it's truly astounding. And when you look at that, you're thinking, okay, yeah, do I feel horrible? What am I telling myself? What thoughts am I having? Because again, what we think about, we bring about. And so years ago, we had come up with these, my mom and I did these postcards, these affirmation postcards, because whether you think you can or can't, you're right. And so we did one for each area of our businesses, from customers and sales, sponsoring, and bookings. And so here are some of these affirmations. And then once I am done, I'll send them to the other ladies. I can put them in the monthly movement group as well, because that's a group that most of you should all have access to. But like this one says, for bookings, I'm getting bookings every day. Booking parties is so easy. Everyone is booking with me. I love my full calendar. Bookings come to me quickly and easily. I'm booking so many parties now. I'm scheduling so many new bookings. This one was sponsoring. Building a team is easy for me. Good people are joining my team now. I'm attracting go-getters to my team, which that's important. You want to attract the right type of people. You want to attract go-getters, people that are wanting to take action. I have a constant flow of prospects. Growing my team is a breeze. I attract the best customers to my team. And then this one was sales related. I'm thankful for my wonderful customers. My sales are increasing every day. My customers love to hear from me. I easily surpass my sales goals. I attract loyal customers, and I have high party sales. On the back, we put prescription for a successful consultant. Repeat affirmations 8 times daily until it becomes your natural way of thinking. Positive thinking brings positive results. Now, I know a lot of times when we say these different affirmations, when you're thinking about every thought matters, a lot of times what will happen is you'll say something, but you don't believe it. And you kind of like have that icky feeling, right? And you say, I'm thankful for my wonderful customers. Okay, that one you could probably believe, right? But I easily surpass my sales goals. And then you're like, yeah, right, I don't really believe that. But in the words of Les Brown, it is possible. And there's hundreds of consultants that are doing just that. They are exceeding their sales goals. They're hitting that annual sales award. They're getting $2,000 a month, all of those things. And so when you have that icky feeling that pops in your mind, you just follow that with, but it's possible, or it's possible, because at the end of the day, it is. And it kind of removes that weight of that unbelief, because it is possible. There are people making it happen. And then it goes back to the now is where your power is. Okay, I haven't done it before, but now I can take actions and I can focus on moving forward and what that looks like versus where I've been in the past and those excuses and being stuck in that. Does anybody have anything they want to add there? No? Yes? No? Yeah. JP does.
Oh, sorry. It was an afterthought, but I kind of mentioned this because I did do this on my live last night for my team or my group. But I said, we are on every thought, right? We're still on that one, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry. Multitasking. I was just thinking about like every thought counts, and I'm the worst. And I was thought, if you had an empty jar and you're filling it with all the positive words, every time you had I know Heather made me write in a journal one time, every time someone said something positive, fill that up. But every time you say something negative, take it out. It's like, you want it to stay full. And another thing to me, a rule of thumb, if you're not going to say it to your daughter or your child or your son don't let them say it about themselves. Think about it before you say that to yourself. So I want to be more aware of what I'm filling my jar with. Am I taking out more than I'm putting in? Because if that's the case, I need to double time it. So.
I've heard for every negative, you need 3 positives to cancel that out. That's another rule of thumb that I've kind of learned. Anyone else? Okay. Last but not least, and I think it's one of the most important ones, is Y stands for you choose happiness. Because at the end of the day, it's our choice. We have to focus on what we can control. And that is if we're going to choose happiness, if we're going to choose joy, if we're going to look at a situation and find the positive in it, or if we're going to look at that glass half empty. Why is you choose happiness? If we are focusing on everything else, what we can focus on is, did I reach out to somebody? We can't focus on how they're going to respond. We can't focus on if they're going to say thank you. We can't focus on if they're going to buy our products. We can't focus on if they're going to, what they're going to do, but we can focus on our actions. And if you can find joy in that success, you know, we say, go for 100 no's, right? Because you're going to get the no's. But if you choose joy and saying, yes, I got another no, that's one step closer to getting to my yes, right? And I know that sometimes that seems a little bit backwards. You're thinking, why would I celebrate that? But it's because we in life, we're going to get no's no matter what. But when we focus, okay, that's one step closer to my yes, or I stepped out of my comfort zone and I did something that may be difficult. I was able to overcome X, Y, and Z fear. I mean, Melissa, that had to have been hard, like with people staring at your backside, right? But you did it anyways. Like all of these different little things, we choose the joy that we find in our journey. We choose the joy that we find at where we're at. I can stay saying, you know what? Like Jody was talking about comparing herself to others in the beginning, right? If she had compared herself, she would have lost that joy, but she chose to keep moving and to keep taking action. I know JP mentioned again, I think it was the other day. Yeah, we kept hearing on those calls, you know, this name or that name. And there's all these different ones that have come through the thing. And if you compare yourself and if you focus on that and, well, I didn't hear my name. Okay, well, guess what? You choose happiness. You focus on what you can control and you take those steps and you move forward every single day. So anybody have anything they want to add there on that last one?
What happened to us? We were like so on fire the other night. Like,
that one.
What happened? I don't even know. Not that I don't want to make you guys feel like you missed something. You didn't miss it, but what the heck? I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know.
Maybe
yeah.
we got nervous.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, one of my favorite things about all of these, and I think I even had a hard time remembering because when I shared it last night, was each one you can kind of give the same little spiel, whatever, with each one. Like comparison that can go with each one. Like, I don't know. I just found myself tying it all back together. Like, I don't know. I can't even deliver it now. I'm a mess. But it was just so good the other night. I'm gonna hush. I can't even. Y'all didn't miss anything, but yeah, I'm gonna stop talking.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, I just think that, so at the end of the day, that's your money creed, right? That's money. Mind your own business. Own your truth. Now is where your power is. Every thought matters, and you choose happiness. And how does that get closer to earning money? If you can put those little things together, you can mind your own business, focus on your own business, focus on where you're at, and take those actions. Own your truth, make it authentically you, put yourself into your business. No, remember that now is where your power is. We can't change yesterday. All we can focus on now and put that projection to the future. And as we do so with every thought, making it count, making a difference in our business, we get to choose the joy in every accomplishment along the way. And hopefully that will help you get to your goals of all the money. And again, money doesn't necessarily, I feel like I should have said this in the beginning, money doesn't stand for necessarily always money, right? It's what money can do for you. Is it the money that gives you that freedom? Is it money that helps you do the things that bring you joy, right? It helps you give back. It helps you reach different goals. It does all of these different things. Money can look differently. It's just the acronym for this example, but I can't capture N. N is down is where your power is. So,
and I don't know if I did end up articulating what I wanted to say or what my point was, other than people staring at my butt. But I, you know, and Jody kind of touched on it. Like, thank goodness there wasn't social media when we started. But there is social media today, and a lot of you are starting your businesses in this social media age, and it is very difficult sometimes, especially on days when we aren't feeling powerful in our businesses. It's difficult to scroll social media and see consultants doing better than us, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been in Scentsy. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what your title is. I mean, I've seen plenty of certified consultants do some kick-A things. you know? And so comparison, though, is the thief of our joy. It's the thief of our joy. We can't authentically be ourselves and give ourselves to our customers and our teams and our families and our friends if we're trying to be somebody else, because then we're not giving us. And that's who our customers want to do business with, so long as we continue to authentically be us and not just be a robotic vehicle that they can get product from. Because when you look on the screen, we're all actually competitors. And that's what's so funny about Scentsy culture, is that in so many other companies, they don't share tips. They don't share tips, especially with people not in their organization. You don't have a meeting with 105 competing consultants to tell them how to work their businesses better. But we do that here. We do that here. And that's just one of many things that sets us apart. That's why Scentsy is so cool, because I don't have to be a cookie cutter. I don't have to wear a skirt. I can be me. So long as I keep my business in compliance, I can run it the way I choose. And that's a pretty good feeling. And if you took the average of the amount of time that those of us on this Zoom have been with Scentsy, or forget even taking the average, if we added up how many years people on this Zoom have been with Scentsy, be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Because, you know, staying 13 years in the same direct selling company, I said this the other day, there's got to be like a dog year equation for direct sales. Like 13 years in direct sales has to be like 78 in real life, because people just don't stay with the same company, right? But think about it. You're here amongst 104 others that are willing to share. Because JP and I have talked about JP. I didn't realize you have that as your name now. JP and I talked about this years ago, about the success of Scentsy is only as good as its weakest, I don't like to use that term, but consultant. So the better that all of us are together, the better Scentsy will be. And I don't plan to go anywhere, and I need Scentsy to stay around. So it really benefits me to help my peers and other consultants to be successful as well. Because the more of us that are successful, the more Scentsy has to offer us in product variation, incentives, programs, licensing. And so, to sum it up, we are truly better together, even if we compete a little, because I'll always steal your customers. Because I tell my team that all the time. I say, listen, that's fine if you quit, that's fine, because I'm never quitting. I will be here till the end, even if I'm the last consultant standing, and I'll steal all your customers. So you better stay.
I mean, we kind of stole Jen Audette from you, so.
You absolutely did. Absolutely. Right out from underneath me, and I didn't even know it. There's how listen, you never know when you are going to meet your power of one, you guys. You never, ever know. You never know. And so many times I'm getting off on a completely different tangent. I don't know. Do we have anything else that we wanted to? All right. Can I take it in the direction?
I was just going to add on to that part real quick. Someone had told me a long time ago, when it comes to first of all, when I was about to hit superstar director and I saw me creeping up on like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, my customer base got stronger because people are watching you guys. Like if you're jumping all around, I just saw someone today on YouTube and it's like I've seen them join like 8 companies. And if you're all over the place, a mentor told me one time, if you find your passion, if you're with a company and it's truly what you love, here comes the tenacity again. If you just give up and bounce to another company because it's not working, you're going to take the same bad habits with you. You know, it does and those are the people that are blaming it on the company. You know, they don't have this, they don't have that. I couldn't do this. My mentor, this. It's not that. Like we've said tonight, it's your choice. You choose what you do. But if you're going to bounce around to all these other companies thinking you're going to get ground floor and start from the beginning, and you're not really into coffee and eyelashes and fitness and all this stuff, you're going to take the same habits with you. And if you just stick with it and get tenacious and know you're going to fall and get up and do all the things, your customer base is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, because they're going to remember, oh, that's my Scentsy girl. That's my wax lady. She's still doing this. You know, if they have to ask you say to you one time, oh, I didn't know that you were still doing that. There's a problem in your consistency. There's a problem in your branding. There's a problem in you not sticking with it and shouting it from the rooftops. But, you know, if the mentality is, oh, I sucked at that, I'm going to get on the ground floor over here, and you haven't fixed your habits and your consistency and what you're doing, that's just going to transfer, and you'll watch it over and over and over again with all these people that go to different companies. They start a new one and start a new one and start a new one, and they do the same thing. And when they suck at that one, or they're sucking at that one, they move to the next one thinking all of that's going to change. And it doesn't. You've got to stay in one spot and work on yourself and keep digging and digging and digging and pressing buttons and trying new things. And that's when you start getting stronger. And it's being on calls like this. And that's how we all get stronger. Like every year, I feel like I get a little bit better at this, and a little bit better at that. And you just have to be tenacious. You have to stick with it and know when you have your bad days, that's when you're learning, and that's when you're getting stronger.
Yeah, I want to say something really quick too, Joe. I think that's a very valid point. A product is not going to make you great. You are going to make the product great and make what people want to sell it and buy it and be a part of it. And whatever you're watching other people post on social media that you're comparing yourself to their end or their middle or your beginning, it could be any freaking chapter there. They're only showing you their highlight reel. People are only showing you and telling you what you or what they want you to know, right? So there's always another chapter, another book, a Cliff Notes version, a glossary, a freaking index. There's all these other parts that people do not see. And everyone is the same. We all have shit on the floor, a mess. I'm walking around stuff everywhere. You can't even walk around. Like, it's like Callie's post she posted today. Like, it all looks really great. Like everybody's got their shiz together, but everybody has their ups and their downs. And don't take someone's highlight reel on their social media and think that's how you have to be or have to run their business, because 9 times out of 10, it probably wasn't even their original idea anyway. We're all about sharing, copying, and pasting. So they're not like that great. Okay. So it's all of us collectively working together, forming greatness. It's not Einstein. I don't see Einstein selling Scentsy right now. So, I mean, it's all of us together. So just remember that what you're seeing is like a little speck. One time at church, I'll never forget, the pastor got up on the stage and he tied 2 knots in a rope. And so it was point A to point B. And then he pulled the rest of the rope and it was like dangling and dragging off of the side of the stage. And he said, the point between the 2 knots is your time here on earth. And that really is kind of this sense of us in our life. Like it is, things go by quickly, but there's so much other left of rope and things that we can learn from and become better and focus on the right things instead of the wrong things. And so just remember that there's a lot of rope you don't see, right? So keep that in mind.
So I have a little something kind of goes along with kind of what Heather was saying of what you see isn't always what's really going on. It also goes to mindset. So I had a message today, I'm going to pull it up. And it came from a girl who has been back and forth with Scentsy several times. I don't know exactly what's going on in her life, but I didn't want to pry. But she said, girl, I'm not sure how you did it with moving and then building your house, but I'm back on and catching up with things. Rough few months for me, but staying positive and getting the ball rolling again. And I just said, and this is the God's honest truth, you guys. And if you start thinking like this, I'll tie it together in a second at the end. I think it's because this is my reply. I'm sorry. I think it's because I know I don't have a choice. This is my income. So no matter what, I have to show up. I do take more time when I need it, but whenever life is throwing at me, I still show up. Being consistent is the key. Just like a job, if you don't show up or you don't perform, you'll lose it. It's the same concept here. A lot of people make this business an option. If this was your full-time job, or you want it to be your full-time job, or you want it to produce enough money for you to make a mortgage payment or go on dream vacation or whatever that looks like for you, this cannot be an option. It has to be what you show up for. The only thing different between this job or this business and the one that you're working for over here in your 9 to 5 is someone is here to tell you what to do every day. Over here, you are your boss. And if you're not willing to show up for yourself and your family and do what needs to be done every day, you are never going to get to where you want to be. You want to be the CEO of your company, then show up every day. If this was a brick and mortar store and you didn't unlock the door every day, you probably wouldn't have sales or customers or people joining your team. Pretend this is brick and mortar. It's just, you don't have to get dressed if you don't want to. Stay in your pajamas, stay in your bed, work from the beach, work from the boat. It doesn't matter, but you have to show up. And if you're not willing to do that, nothing any of us tell you, pour into you, or tools or tips, tricks we give you will work. You have to be consistent. If you are jumping from this company to this company to this company, and then you're like, oh, well, this one didn't work, let me go back to this one. People are watching you, whether they comment or not, they're watching you. And they're like, well, I can't count on her to be my Scentsy lady because sometimes she's selling makeup. Oh, great. Over here, she's got some pots and pans too for me. Oh, wait, she's not selling that either. And we're back to wax again. It's consistency. Pick what you love and be consistent at it. And then you will find your success. Like Jill said earlier, the longer you're here, the more your customer base grows. You're not going to join in 6 months. You're going to be where you want to be for the next 12 years. That would be great, but you're going to constantly be building. And that consistency is where the consistency really is key. Because if you're not showing up every day, people don't know you're here every day. They don't know that they can count on you. And they need to know that. They need to know when they knock on your door, you're open for business. So that's my advice is, you know, you can look at somebody and be like, they've got it all together or whatever. Like she thought, you know, building my house and I still showed up, even though it was hard to work my business from wherever we were, what was going on in our lives. You still have to do it. You have to find the reasons to continue and not the excuses to let stop you. Because you will never make money if you're making excuses.
Can't make money and excuses at the same time.
No, you can't.
Can't. Well, I was going to say I was briefly just going to touch on the power of one. Because the coolest part about this business is we are always just one new team member away from our business changing, from our business growing. Sometimes it takes our business exploding for us to realize what we have in front of us. Sometimes it takes a powerhouse joining our team to show us that we can do better and be better. And I got a message, and I know that she's not on tonight because I know that. So I feel okay saying this, but I got a message from a consultant tonight who I said, where have you been? Where have you been? And she said, let me see exactly what it said. I said, where have you been? And she said, I've been discouraged. Like, how do I get my Scentsy business rolling when I'm doing what I know to do, but it makes no difference? But I haven't seen her in 5 months, not on my team calls, not on my team page, not on my, nothing. My answer is when you stop showing up, then so what? And I don't mean so what about her, but if you stop showing up, it's very easy to think you're working your business. It's very easy to think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But how do you know if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? When's the last time you picked up a new tip from another consultant? When's the last time that you picked up a new way of doing something that you've been doing a way that you think doesn't work? When's the last time you got excited about reaching out to your customers? Because the moment this becomes a job, it's not fun. I forget we get paid to do this sometimes. And, you know, I was just having a conversation with somebody. I referred to this a couple of times, but I did a training call last night for a team. They have no relation in business to me. None. But why would I do it? Why would I do it? I'm not getting paid for it. It's my time. It was at 10:45 at night. We went till 10:05. But why did I do it? Because I love what I do. I love what I do regardless of if I get paid or not. And I love being here, and I love surrounding myself with people that love it too. Because there's plenty of us here that love it, and there's plenty of us that will take you along with us. But I can't help you run your business or work your business if you stop showing up. And that's why my word is consistency, because I will pour everything that I have into somebody that shows me they care. And the moment, this is for anybody, and this is not against us leaders, and you know, maybe, but not. We work with a lot of people, and we work with a lot of consultants, and we work with a lot of team members. And if you take yourself off our radar, that's on you. That's on you. Because we'll keep you on our train moving forward for as long as you want to be on it. But if you hop off, it's not my job to come find you. It's your job to catch the next train and come back with us. I can't make you work, but I can show you why you want to.
That was really good, Melissa. And I think too, it's important to let them know, like, we're always here. We're consistent. We haven't gone anywhere, right?
Always.
We're still in the same spot. If you're not here on the call, it's that's not here, not us. And it's like I tell people all the time, if you're in university, you're going to college. What am I, university? I'm like in a different country now. I'm just calling it university. Foreign. I don't even know. If you're at college and you miss class, you're not going to phone. I really am in like Europe or something right now. You are going to call up your professor and be like, oh, sorry, Professor John, I didn't make it. Can you give me a recap of everything I missed?
That's like the best example ever.
You have to show up who you want to learn from. It's not 42 people call to find out at their schedule how to put an order in. No, you show up when the professor's teaching you or catch a replay. It's not, so it's twofold. I kind of wanted to throw that out there too, because it's all of you showing up live because you're here, you know, you show up, you're with us. We're in the same spot. You're on the train that we're going on. But it's a choice. So I just wanted to say that too, like make an effort to show up to those people that you want to learn from, because they'll still show up and teach you because we love it. It's our passion. We wouldn't do anything else. Right. But you just got to make that choice to show up.
Heather, that was so perfect. That's like the best analogy I've ever heard for a leader in this business. Like legit, you skip class, you are not calling the professor to ask for a recap. Like, let's be real. That was the best ever. So great job, Heather. Thank you. The other thing is, and Heather said this first off when she started talking, was you know where to find us on Thursday nights. We've built momentum. We've built momentum with this call. We have 100 people on live, and I can tell, even just by my own YouTube channel upload of our shift calls, people watch the recording. There are people that don't have the link to get on live, but watch for the recording to get uploaded so they can watch what happens on Thursday night shift. And I know that for a fact because I got told it last night. So we want to be here. You know how to find us here. We're in the same place at the same time on Thursday evenings. And one of the leaders said to me, but how do you not get discouraged if you are having a team call or you're doing team calls for a couple weeks and you get one person, two people, three people on, and it's easy to get discouraged. And I said, why ever would you let down that one person? Why ever would you let down those two people? Because basically what you're saying is I'm canceling because you two aren't good enough.
Or at a Cincy party and one person shows up and wants to place an order and you say, no, I can't take your order. There's only one person.
Or the host says, I have one person coming, and you say, let's cancel. Let's put it in, let's make it a book party or a Facebook party. Like any opportunity that you have to get in front of somebody new, take it. They could be your power of one. They could introduce you to somebody that could be your power of one. Never, ever, ever discount opportunity, especially in this business, if you have the opportunity to get in front of new people, do it. But make sure you look like you're having fun while you do it. Nobody wants to join a drag.
I was saying maybe a drag queen.
Maybe.
Maybe. So Ross, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, real quick. So it's kind of like really tied in with what Melissa just said, but because one of my amazing team, Sam, is here and on tonight, I just want to kind of share our experience real quick. And it is exactly what Melissa just shared, like plenty of time, you guys. I showed up on a Thursday for our team, and I'm talking to myself, you know, and then, but just because I kept showing up, and plenty of time I didn't want to. There were times where like I didn't have a topic. There were times where I was stressing about what am I going to talk about, but I kept showing up. If it was 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I kept showing up. And then Sam saw the consistency and she started showing up. There is plenty of times now where there's just the two of us and we're talking about stuff that we already know, but the calls are recorded and people are watching the replay. And then here and there, here comes the other teamie, and here comes the other one, and here comes the other one. And you build up that way, but it all starts because you keep going and you don't give up and you do show up. And that's, so like, don't get discouraged. And if you do, reach out to those people that are there to support you and say, listen, I don't know what else to do. Give me some tips. That's what these calls are for. So show up.
And it's fun too. You get on and you see the same faces, right? So that has to say something to you. Brooke Miller and Ross and Vance and Amanda and Jackie and Holly, you guys are always on my front screen. And so I'm always looking at you guys. And Ross, if I forgot you, I met you too. You guys are always on my front screen. So I feel like I'm talking to, like, this is what we do. This is what we do, and we do it together. You know? And it wouldn't feel the same if all of a sudden all of the faces, right? If all of the faces that you look for started disappearing, what message would that send to you? I said that to Casey Stevenson years ago. We were at a leadership, and I said, Casey Stevenson is an SSD. She started, gosh, Jamie, when did Casey start? 2000.
2006, I believe, but way early in 2006, I believe.
Okay. So Casey to me, and early in my journey, was somebody that I saw at all of the events that I went to. And I remember pulling her aside on the path. I can remember exactly where I was. And I pulled her aside on the path in Puerto Vallarta. And I said to her, as a newer consultant, and I was an SSD at the time, but I said, as a newer consultant, I cannot tell you how much it means to me seeing you at everything. Because if I started going to events and the people that I was used to seeing weren't there, what message is that sending? I would feel unstable. I would feel unsure. I would feel like home base has been moved. And I remember saying, you never know who's watching you. You never know. You never know who's paying attention to you. You never know who needs you. You never know who is watching what you do and how you work your business and how you carry yourself and what you post on social media. You never know. And so in that moment, she said, I cannot believe that you pulled me aside to tell me this. And I said, because if your face started disappearing from my crowd, I would worry. And I said the same thing to A.D. Mitchell. She was a pillar. She is a pillar. You know, and these names, these women that came before us, I mean, JP joined with these girls like early. I mean, they paved our way. They paved our way, and we paved the way for a lot of you. But I will tell you, bar none, I use this analogy all the time. Please remember this. Social media is like a dark auditorium. you forget who you have added over time. You forget who they never comment on your things. They never like anything. They never post, they never comment. No, they are standing in the back of your dark auditorium, but they're watching you. And something you post, whether positive or negative, will pull people out of that darkness. So you want to create in your auditorium an environment that you want people to continue to watch. Boom. Are we at the top? We're at the top of the hour.
So thank you for hanging out.
You just never know where we're going to go and where we're going to take it, right? We just never know. Okay. I didn't mean to take over the whole call, my sweet peeps.
Oh, if you got the vibe and you're feeling it, take it.
I got the vibe.
That's the
Natalia,
great thing about 7 of us.
Natalia, are you registered for SFR? Because if you're not registered, you won't get anything, but you're not going to get anything until probably Thursday.
Next.
Yeah.
So
Well, they
even
should
if
send out-
you,
Oh,
sorry, even if you are, I'll get it on Monday or close,
Yeah,
or should I
probably.
have gotten it already?
No, you'll probably get it sometime next week. Nobody's gotten it yet.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're good.
And honestly,